Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting and amazing, spectacular Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero psych defender of the fatherland. Off here to a glorious 1v1 on Bocage. In the north, it is Prabuty, fighting here for America, freedom, democracy, here with the 6th Armored Division with Airborne Doctrine backing it up with Pathfinders, 50 cals from above, paratroopers, anti-tank guns from above, and the P-47 rocket straight field with triple infantry vessels south. It is Luvnest, Liebesnest, fighting for Germany, Deutschland, das Vaterland. Here with the elite Panzerlehr Panzerdivision with Fortified Armour, Lightning Wall, and Mechanized Assault with double infantry Panzerfaust, 8-gun and MG42 study for Luvnest versus Pathfinders riding here for Prabuty. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters, these champions, these heroes of the Propagandacast for keeping the business. You too can join the illustrious and heroic ranks by pledging on Patreon yourself, or you can donate by PayPal. Links are in the description. Or you can comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button, keep the YouTube algorithms engaged. So off to the races here on the west side here. Prabuty is making good headway there for freedom and democracy. He's riding, pushing across here the dusty, but not quite dusty grounds here. There's clearly a lot of water right there. But, you know, the ground. Pioneers machine on the west here, gunning eastwards there. Interesting opening by from Luvnest. He's clearly looking to, like, hit Prabuty's western fuel point here, like, trying to go for a more offsetting opening there. It's definitely quite interesting. Definitely a bit of a gambit here for Luvnest, but at the same time it works out. It's going to be pretty potent. But, again, with Mac fires, it could leave Luvnest in a pretty terrible situation, to put it generously. And the right nice machine gun's flank is deeply exposed. He's probably not quite aware of this. There's a Rouse squad moving in here. Or perhaps he is aware of this. Pathfinder squad mature for Prabuty. Pioneers going for the distance. Machine needs to position as soon. Rouse squad backing off. Second gunning squad ready here. Going steadily for the eastern fuel point here. What will Luvnest do? Sandbags here. Could push straight for the western fuel point. He wanted to. Meanwhile, the east side here. Pathfinders gunning squad by the eastern fuel point. Heavy cover. Pathfinders gunning and light cover. Should be a win for the Pathfinders since they're just going to be able to like pin off the gunners. There we go. Or immediately killed Ludwig there. Carport hitting the west here. Pushing for the western fuel point. Good work here. But Luvnest here is definitely caught a bit out of position by Prabuty. Likely not expecting a Pathfinder build, but can sort of hit back at this kind of thing. So again, in one-on-one engagements, the Pathfinders again are incredibly efficient versus the gunneries, in particular like longer ranges, where again the marksmanship ability just really comes into strength there. So, but Prabuty there definitely blindsiding Luvnest quite aggressively. But Luvnest doing his best here to blindside somewhat at least Prabuty. So off here to the races. What a spectacular aggressive race it is. Gunneries moving back here, third squad ready, moving towards the centre here. Luvnest again just I think swing around here, trying to adapt to the current situation as already the situation on the ground is swiftly changing here beyond what Luvnest I think had initially anticipated. Let's moving forwards there. We got a Pathfinder squad moving in there, machine gun almost there. Grenadier squad almost in the centre. And we got another Grenadier squad being sent in, I think, to probe Prabuty's right flank as he pushes westwards. Whoops, westwards there, my apologies. With the camera handling there. Machine being charged at here. Pathfinder's going forward. Can machine gun second time is fine time. Oh, no. Close one there, very close one. Grenadier squad right, but definitely not a good position for the MG42. Pioneers up the fuel point. East side here, Grenadier squad 2 moving in against the Pathfinders there. Slow engagement here for Luvnest. In the west, Pathfinders they're holding it to heavy cover. Grenadiers machinery position to deal with that. Pioneers could also try to deal with it. Flamethrowers on the Pioneers. Luvnest here definitely pushing back against Prabuty, who's going for the captain. Bit of a rare choice here in 1v1s, but again, versus Luvnest, a hard and experienced players, not inexperienced players, good lord. I was almost about to have Luvnest just reach out the computer screen and slap me. No, an experienced player like Luvnest, sometimes the unexpected may in fact be your best tool, since it could possibly throw Luvnest again for a bit of loot, which again is why Prabuty may have gone for this airborne opening. Ambulance away for Prabuty, so Captain also getting the BAR pretty fast going there. Grabbing the eastern fuel point here with the Grenadiers. So far, Luvnest, who again managed to adapt to the situation, has now got a really strong opening going here versus Prabuty, who's definitely been caught off guard by Luvnest's counter maneuvers. And again, aggressive MG42 play, which I would always like to highlight. I think is a very crucial part of Wehrmacht play. It is having your MG42 there being handled aggressively. I mean, the German infantry squad was built around the MG42, other than the LMG42, but also the heavy machine gun team. In fact, the HMG42, as we know it, while Relic sort of may try and make you believe it's meant to be used defensively, in the actual war, it was actually an offensive weapon. It was meant to support an attack. Defensively, they would actually pick it off the tripod and just put it in a bipod to that way handle attackers. So little fun fact there about that one. S1 feels on the fuel point. Thumbs up there to Luvnest. It makes it harder for Prabuty to sneak in and harass it. It's going to force mind troops there, though. Prabuty's already thought that far ahead, so thumbs up to Prabuty. Definitely makes it harder for Luvnest, like, maintain some aggressive pacing and tempo. Good work there by Prabuty. Very sensible tactical thinking there, assuming his opponent might mine the fuel pond closest to him. Luvnest taking up, they're probably going to see an armoured car here, though of course he has gone for full gun of these. He's got some otherwise good leads, so theoretically what Luvnest could try and do, though arguably highly risky, could be to try and just take a hit there fast for the Spormer core and rush something out there, though obviously at the current state of affairs I wouldn't recommend it, but you know, it's a slight thought here to have. Drive against the Pathfinder squad here, send them packing. Going to use the knee side as the captain running up there. Like to make a nice go for Luvnest. Ambulance to the way. Oh, not ambulance, medics on the way. Got the ambulance here ready to support Prabuty's forces. We'll have to see if it goes from next. Luvnest there pushing it, going for the car punch, looking to outmaneuver Prabuty, and again keep pressure on him. Force Prabuty to react to his maneuvers. Trying to maintain initiative. Thumbs up to Luvnest. Prabuty, of course, keen on getting initiative. He's going for the anti-aircraft tower attack, which is definitely going to force Luvnest into a more awkward spot. He is going for an armoured car. Light respond with an anti-tank to the half-track. They could try double armoured cars to counter the half-track, though. Depending on the situation on the map here, that could be a lot harder to achieve. Pathfinder moving forward again. Both sides aggressively going for each other there. Like, just hitting hard, disrupting hard. Going to use something in the centre here. Can't use this as the Pathfinder squad. Armoured car right around the corner for Luvnest. There we go. 222. Leichte Panzerspielwagen. And just bring about their half-track almost done. And you photos of the reactions there. Armoured coming ahead. Pushing them back there. Grabbing the fuel point again, disruptive play here. Again, he's not even like he's trying to secure direct. He's just, you know, again, just trying to keep the fuel out of Luvnest's hands. Armoured car strikes here. The light car makes it a bit harder for the armoured car to hit, but again, he just pushes around still. Good chance that Prabuty will be able to render the point neutral, thus denying Luvnest precious fuel. Half-tech has also arrived here for Prabuty and for the 6th Armoured Division. Luvnest still without a doctor on the west end for the reassurance. Could be planning lightning roll for the Jägerlight infantry upgrades, maybe. I mean, that could be an option, then again, probably not. So, Fortified Armour or Mechanized Assault? Curious decisions there. Particularly later on here, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say Mechanized Assault is a bad idea. Like, for example, Mechanized Assault group right now could perhaps put Prabuty in some slightly awkward positions, depending how it's handled. And the Stugi, I suppose, could be useful, but I know probably suspect it could end up being Fortified Armour here. That is definitely a rare doctrine to see. 5th card there being airdrop for Prabuty. Very good there. Thumbs up. Note he's manning it with the Pathfinders, and we actually got another one going down there, because the Pathfinders have increased line of sight, meaning if you crew the machine gun with the Pathfinders, you get a machine gun team that can actually spot for itself, so you can actually make use of the full range of the heavy machine gun. It's a similar trick you can do with the Wehrmacht and your machine gun, so if the Pioneer Squad crews a machine gun again, you get the same effect. So, little fun fact there for those unawares. Pathfinder's pushing forward for Prabuty, 50 coming up here. And again, you might notice he's just going to snipe at long range. And just get there, we're getting the upper hand with the MD42 in that engagement, though half to joining in there. That's going to have definitely force the MD42 to retreat. So again, you see that can give you sort of some slight edges here and there. In this case, the MD42 team was in light cover, making it a bit harder just like hammer down. But had it been out in the open, that would be an easy win there for the Pathfinder 50 cal. So again, thumbs up the Prabuty. Very good handling of that. Luvnest got the Pack 40 out, the Panzer up there, Kanone 40, kind of these repositioning, trying to I suspect in part trying to figure out where Prabuty's going to land his next blow and then, you know, cushion himself for it so he can like minimize as much the impact here from Prabuty's attack. Got it in the half-tech here. Lisa we got the Grenadiers with the light machine with the echelons. Rav coming up here again. We got the Pioneers hiding behind the heavy cover, making easy ambush the Rav squad. Anti-tank leather for Prabuty. Another MD40 for Luvnest. Honestly, I think at this point, I think he actually might be better off with a more to just hammer away some of Prabuty's positions later on, smoke to attack through. Run going for another MD42, but I mean, it's not to say another MD42 is a bad choice, not at all. But I think this is a sort of situation where Mortar might provide Luvnest, I think, with a better force multiplier, if you will. Pathfinder's being forward seek, and he's been slightly sniped at. Still no doctor value from Luvnest. We've got the Pioneers being caught out in the upper of the 50 cal, and of course the captain. Rive getting on the 50 cal, Pathfinders, there we go. Great hit. Forcing a retreat on the west. Opening up for the western field again to be pressured here by Luvnest in the centre. Half time forward step pack 40 though. Ooh, got pushed back. Hit the fit of the Pathfinders. I think too much there for Luvnest. And now we can see the entire front line is steadily crumbling now as the anti-aircraft attack can move ahead unopposed against Luvnest. You could try and pop the interior pigeon around here with the 5th cal and the half-tech firing at it. I don't think that's a very sensible thing to risk. Still, we got a nice victory point lead for Luvnest though. Prabuty, I mean, 498 versus 286 is a pretty significant lead. Not a huge fan of these grenades doing nothing for so long. I mean, obviously wants to defend the fuel point, but honestly at that point, he better off just laying down some S-mines to build a machine gun bunker rather than leave an infantry squad to guard the point for all that time. Not a huge fan of that one, personally. That's just me. Back here on Prabuti's base, no tech, no weapon racks. As for Luvnest, we do get tech there, but still no doctrine on the other hand. Season Assembly of Grenadiers, machine defending here. Part of me probably would risk it going for the fuel point there, just like put pressure on Prabuty there, force him to react to that, and then of course just, you know, maybe make gains elsewhere. But he's sending in a Grenadier squad to do the job instead. I mean, that works too. But he can still move up the machine, I think, a bit further ahead. He like set it up around here. That way he can cover the Grenadier squad and make it harder for Prabuty to counter. It looks like that he's probably what's going to do there. Though perhaps not quite there. But the tractor, though, it is really the only heavy piece of cover there. So, yeah, he's going to put up close there. Pack 14 is the half-tick with the advancing Pathfinders being suppressed with the other 50. In fact, double 50 cal here from Prabuty again. Both Pathfinder manned. Going for the fuel point there in the east. Very good there. Both sides hitting the other field points. Pathfinder's being hammered. You can build the support call now. And to definitely, I think, begin pushing for some armor here versus Prabuty. I think Luvnest actually could get away with an Osman rush here versus Prabuty, which would, in my opinion, at least be fairly excellent. And would be, I think, a bit of a tough sell here for Prabuty at the current state of affairs to deal with. Got the fuel, we got a captain counter-attacking, backed up with the half-track. In the centre, 2 grenades squatting up with the double 50 cals. Probably just pull the bat and just get them going elsewhere. Racing squad close being wiped up. Still got the Pathfinders here. Not upgraded to Barfinders though. The Prabuty is funding a lot of munitions that could make that possible. And a pack out for Prabuty. If Luvnest doesn't go fertility, then Prabuty surely will. Bocage reinforcing healing. No tech still for Prabuty. Luvnest need to get that support going, and of course need to get some Panzerwaffe out. And certainly with the pack house and that heavy an investment into, like, you know, the company command post from Prabuty and Osman would be, I think, a really strong choice. As long as it doesn't get it started from the anti-tank gun, it can deal with the half-tank, it can deal with the infantry, it can deal with the other support weapons, and can just provide a Luvnest with a really strong element that makes Prabuty's flanks a lot less secure. I also think Luvnest really should consider something like a mortar for the smoke screens. I mean, technically, you could use fortified armor and its panzer tactician and combine with the armored cars that way. Deploy smoke screens, I suppose. I mean, that is an option. There you go. Pack cards out for Prabuty. Pack cards were typically part either of a mountain infantry division, of which I think the only place they saw service, I think, was in Italy, or they were actually part of a airborne division as they needed some light artillery to, you know, support them when that was the pack howitzer. So Pomacop there, we'll have to see what Luvnest goes for. Still on doctrine, there you go. Incendium on Pigeon Rounds. Unfortunately, it has been suppressed, so it doesn't reload as fast. So we'll have to retreat here in the face of a swarm of infantry under Prabuty's command. Big push here for Prabuty and Luvnest. There lacks the tools to really slow down. His infantry scatters out and he lacks any armor. And the other machine gun is basically up north. Pathfinder's being the effort here for Prabuty against Luvnest. Bowie still hasn't chosen a doctrine. Back here. Again, could go for the Osprey. He could also technically go for Fortified Armour to call him the command tank. You could also just begin calling it 2Vs, I guess. But I think you should go for the Osprey personally. I personally think you should go for the Osprey. We've got weapon racks here for Prabuty, opening up for bars and bazookas. Machine called out in the upper half track. That has got to be an immediate retreat here. Prabuty, yes, swinging through Luvnest lines here. Aggressive, we got the armored car moving in there. There's good hits and we get the engine setting up there as well. Better 2 gain on the 222. Got it on the 222 from there. Prabuty's M1, and there you go on the east grenadiers versus the 50 cal. Still no armor from Luvnest. Keine Panzerwaffe. Still recommend the Ostwind Flakpanzer here. And we do get their Fortified Armour. That is a rare doctrinal choice from 1v1. That is roughly up there with Jaeger Armour. Command Tank, Panzer Tactician, Reconnaissance Overflights, Hold Down, and the Elephant Heavy Tank Destroyer. We do get the Panther 4 here for Luvnest. Note the Elephant Heavy Tank, so I didn't really see any usage on the Western Front. I believe it saw a bit of usage in Italy. Actually, did see some usage in Italy. But I was primarily on the Eastern Front, the Elephant saw combat. On the Western Front, the only heavy tanks I see any reliable usage was actually the Yak Panther. Which sadly isn't in Camis too. Despite being a really cool design. And probably a bit easier to balance. Reactions then pushed back here by the Pioneer of the Flammenwerfer. Panther form stunning for Luvnest. Well, we see makes use of the hold down ability here. But I imagine part of the reason went for it is just because it has Panzer Tactician out of its 3 doctrines. Also, there's a Panther Turm, which is basically just, you know, a bunker with a Panther's turret on top. The Germans used many like similar fortifications. For example, in Italy they had a lot of like just old tanks where they just strip off the turrets and use them as these sort of turret bunkers. It was also not uncommon for them to use like otherwise broken down Panthers as Panther Turms. Typically model these. Panther forming 48 backed up here by some air recons, getting a better idea there of Prabuty's positions. I think they're allowing for a more efficient attack if Luvnest pushes for it. Of course, that does push for it. Aircraft shut down now by the anti-aircraft tough attack. Although sometimes, you know, the German units will see the Panthers are setting up as, you know, shall I say, improvised Panther Turms to get them going. That happened with the 11th SS Panzergrenadier Division in Nordland in the Baltics, where they actually received, I think, you know, roughly a battalion's worth of them to like dig in, but they were actually able to get the Panthers running again, at which point they just, you know, had a Panther battalion, which they actually were able to bring back to Berlin, all the way to Berlin afterwards. So, fun fact, they've been able to get the Panther 4 hunting down here. East, we've got the Hafter going for the Gunners, pushing them back. West side are going for the fuel point again. Good harassment there by Luvnest against Prabuty. Thumbs up. Panther 4, they're bombarding the infantry. Let's see if it goes for next. I mean, an Ottoman hold down could be in a sufficiently strong anti-infantry counter, but obviously a Panther 4 hold down also works. Entertaining their shoots. Panther 4 disengaging in the face of such. He's being hammered with Captain 40. In the west here we got the Pioneer as the major pushing back. Of course, thinking that Prabuty will be going for armor. Though I wouldn't be surprised to see some tank destroyers here. Particular Luvnest insists on going hold down as Panther 4's. Prabuty will of course be very tempted to just go for tank destroyers and staying at range rather than trying to get close to the Panther 4's. Rather than trying anyway to like slug it out. Because at that point the Panther 4's will win. But with the Jackson, you just snipe at them from a safer distance, which would then force Luvnest to then go for like hold down Stugs or hold down Panthers to counter that, at which point things get a bit silly. West side here, Pioneers probably not going to lay down a fresh S-man field, but they could do it. And we got tier 4 here for Luvnest. Is it an elephant he's actually planning here, or will he go for Panthers and establish his own little Panther Turm? Of the improvised kind, obviously. There's the pack of Pathfinders here being suppressed, though. Gun is being absolutely hammered. Great hit by the M1 anti-tank and the Panther 4. Does take less damage, but even then versus an M1 anti-tank, you don't want to be sticking around for too long. Due to the overall high rate of fire in the M1 anti-tank, meaning you can easily chew through the Panther 4 even with the damage reduction of the hull down. And again, also just highlights on these again, Luvnest really needs some artillery. He's probably going to end up going for the Panzerwerfer, I suppose, or Sturmpanzer, but honestly I think a mortar just do the trick just as well, if not better in some cases. That's just me. Jason 40 backed up with the half-track, Veterancy 2, 14 kills. Still no sign of armor here for Prabuty, though so far that is not going to be a huge challenge for Luvnest, though he may want to get a bit more active since he's down to 122 versus Luvnest 469. Panther moving southwards here, definitely need some repairs on that one. We'll have to see what Luvnest ultimately goes here versus Prabuty. 8 kills on the Panzerkampfwagen 4 in the center. Big push again here with infantry. The armored car power is still operable here for Luvnest. One kill on the pack howitzer, then 1 veteran to level. More pioneers for Luvnest. I think that's an excellent idea there to speed up repairs on his armor, but of course also in this case allow him to get some tech going there while he's still repairing his tank. Small push here, Prabuty with the minor force here, bazooka team, half tech, 50 kill there. Pathfinder think do some reinforcements and healing, and there you go, we also know got the upgrading bars, making them even nastier, aka the bar finders. Machine gunning up here, Graham Neeson victory point. Was something claimed back here by Prabuty, though his 5th car there running to a lot easier than these here late level with their LMD 42. So there you go, heavy panzer crop here for Luvnest. Hey Jürgen, ja, weiß es is a heavy panzer corps. Like, out of all the things, like, you know, only one of them is really a heavy panzer. That's a Sturmpanzer. I mean, that's kind of more like a assault panzer. The panzer is definitely just a medium panzer. And the Panzerwerfer, like, that's not even heavy. Well, you know, high command gets some weird ideas from time to time. I mean, just look who's controlling the Luftwaffe. Ah, yeah. I guess that makes sense. We do get the Sturmpanzer 4 here for Luvnest to try and blast his way through the anti-tank guns. Made you there executed. And he not particularly made your way. Sherman move here though. Interesting choice, he actually does go for the Sherman here. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad choice, but you would figure with the hull down Panzer force and such from Luvnest, he would be more tempted to go for the Jackson to just shoot at it from a safer distance. But I'm guessing at the same time he's just thinking like his Luvnest is going to keep parking his Panther force like that. You can just snipe them with the anti-tank gun, I guess. I mean, that arguably checks out. 450 to 122. Puny here as the Pathfinders, Panther being pushed back. Close to veterans you won, but also close to death and expiring. Sturmpanzer for almost done here for Luvnest and Deutschland. Comes right forward here by the center up north. Gunners could push for this victory point here once more. Big push here by Prabuty again. Definitely some aggressive maneuvers. And there you go. Sturmpanzer 4 out here for Luvnest. Equipped with a 150mm gun. Got some Semirit applied there, which is anti-magnetic paste. Though it did have the slight disadvantage that it was also very flammable. Armored car knocked out. Also, it turns out most armies didn't actually use a lot of the magnetic binds either, so the Germans kind of started phasing it out. Shoots there, and wipes the entire squad. That was a great hit there for Luvnest. Definitely a bit of a slap across the face for Booty on the hand. He does get an MD-42 for his infantry. Hey, look at me. I'm a Nazi. Pew, pew, pew. Well, you kind of already were, Carl. Hey! Waiting orders. Be ready with that bar. Half-tech falling back here. Waiting orders. Crew ready. Steady up, man. Pushing for the eastern fuel point there. Western victory point's on. Western fuel point is back open. So adding the pin machine here to the Sturmpanzer 4. And then Central Grenadiers, Captain 5th Cal opening up on them. Again, these Pathfinder 5th Cal have just been an excellent tool here for Prabuty. An absolutely amazing tool. Handful pushing back the Pathfinders there. 10 kills, veterans 2-1. Sturmpanzer at the centre. And there you go, we do get the M36 Action Chancellor here for Prabuty now. Malta really would do Luvnest a lot of good if you want to secure the centre victory point. Just throw in a smoke screen around here and then push forward on the cover of the smoke. I kind of feel like that's a bit of an oversight there from Luvnest, just not to go for a mortar. Remember, Kinder, ein Granatenwerfer a day keeps the armies away. Well, the actual physical Americans, not artillery. But that's for another lesson. Sturmpanzer shooting at the Ralph squad. Got the pack 40 on the half track, punching straight through it. Sherman forces straight for the Sturmpanzer. Jackson almost done. Let's see how Luvnest responds to that. Will be Stooks, more Panzer Force. We're trying to go for a Panther. We'll actually try and stall for the Elephant. Pushing for the Eastern Victory point. I mean, he's still definitely, I think, just focusing on planets just bleeding out Prabuty. I mean, he can't make it work. Of course, it's great. We actually do get a hull down Sturmpanzer. Wow. That's not something you see every day. In fact, it just turns into an artillery piece with a very limited arc of fire, but, you know, pretty potent. At that point, it's effectively like just, you know, a really big, armoured 150mm howitzer. Ooh, almost getting wiped there. Gonna need to squat the wipe. Luvnest actually stands running infantry. Need to replace this going for a pack 40. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Is he going for the Elephant then? Is it going to be another Sturmpanzer? Is he just going to like keep going for Sturmpanzer, just hold them down and use them like artillery pieces like that? 9 kills, close veterans he won. Sherman flanking about here. Second pack for the Luvnest, but he definitely, I think, should be focusing on more infantry now. Just 2 Grenadier squads, opponent with at least 3 squads there, I think, is running a bit risky here for Luvnest. And there you go. Pack crew wiped jump, having pushed back. Sherman racing straight through the lines in the north side is in a perilous position here. The Panther Force down south here being repaired by the Pioneers. The other Pioneer squad got wiped out too. Pack 4 gets to it on the Sherman. We got 75 points, and there you go. The pack gets immediately destroyed here by Prabuty. Absolutely lying for no chance of that being uncovered. Jump having forward again. Luvnest needs to push it into action here clearly, but risky getting knocked out here with the Jackson. There's also the possibility of a P-47 straight here from Prabuty, and Luvnest just does not have any, well, anti-aircraft guns. Like, doesn't have the Osprey, and the Dodson say doesn't, you know, offer a flak 88 or anything else. Or flak half-track. Or 2cm flat, like just nothing. So currently Luvnest is going to be quite exposed for Prabuty's like P-47 rocket strafe, which is, you know, very likely going to happen soon. Also think highlighting another potential flaw in Luvnest just going for tier 4 and stuff like this. Well, again, you know, certainly big, flash and impactful in some ways. There's just also the issues like really big targets, in this case prohibitive, like having a significant counter here to the air support. And there you go. P-47 strikers take calling the base in. This jump hunter struggling here with the pathing. He's basically placed too much stuff at the entrance of the base. Trying here to save the Sturmpanzer, but it doesn't work. So with that, Luvnest is now in a really bad state. I mean, he's got his opponent under 62 victory points, but by now his forces are bleeding out quite aggressively in the face of Prabuty. He's short in infantry, he's short in armor, and if he's intending to use anything out the heavy pants, well, there's just like so many big, expensive investments here that like even a single loss can then further put him behind there. Got the aircraft shot down there. Lucky there for Luvnest, but his Panther Force is going to go down here. So yeah, things are really starting to look pear-shaped here for Luvnest. So they could try and grab the anti-tank turn against Prabuty. That's what was going to do there. Not a bad idea. I mean, the M1 anti-tank is going to be great here versus Prabuty stuff here. As long as it doesn't lose it to the Sherman. Again, the high rate of fire, of course, is really great versus American armor. Panther Force here, other pack 40 of course here. Like going to lose the pack anti-tank. There you go. 5th cal flanking that pack here. Could actually clear out the pack here because remember, when it comes to heavy machine guns versus anti-tank guns, heavy machine guns are actually really good counters because anti-tank crews cannot be suppressed. I mean, they take the full damage of the heavy machine gun team. Heavy machine teams actually deal a lot of damage. It's just the suppression negates a lot of that. But so when you can actually fire with the heavy machine team as an anti-tank gun, you can just break through them very fast. The only exception, of course, is to the 6th Fleet Division field gun, which can just counter your machine gun head on because, yeah, I don't know why. Panther on the way for Luvnest, but the situation is definitely looking pretty hairy. Another Sherman here for Prabuty. The Sherman again is just great, like thumbs up to Luvnest using the ability, but there's just so much else he has to do when there's double 50 cals there, and there you go, forcing him to retreat, and he's trying to pull forward, so they're getting hammered. Half-track murdering weight, Panther almost done it for Luvnest. We got 349 here versus 62. We got a machine gun there laying dead in the dirt, and the other machine's about to get wiped there by the bar finds one. There goes Sherman, does the deed here, leaving Luvnest down to 2 Grenadier squads and a Pioneer squad. He does get the Panther on the way, but I mean, the Panther's going to have to do some incredibly heavy lifting here versus Prabuty. I mean, we're talking absurd amount of lifting. He does clear out that one at least. To deny to Prabuty. I mean, it's not like the Panther's known for its, great amount of firepower in the Companies 2. That's more the Panther in Companies 1, where it technically did more damage per shot than pretty much any other medium tank. Plus, of course, being tough and, heavily armoured. But again, it actually also dealt damage. Which is sort of the Panther's issue in Companies 2. Like, compared to, like, any other medium tank, it roughly deals exactly the same amount of damage. So it's just, at risk of being easily outgunned there. But we'll have to see. He's got both machines going there. That's definitely helped there for Luvnest. We need to get the anti-tank guns back as well there. Penetrating there from the Sherman on the Panther. Panther down to roughly a little healthier now. And there, Gomes got knocked out. Need to put it back into the base. Need to get the Pioneers fixed up. We need some more Pioneers. He also needs more infantry. And again, definitely I think it highlights when issue Luvnest still has to replace his previous infantry losses. That is great for Prabuty, but definitely a sizable headache here for Luvnest. We got Paratroopers being dropped in here into the midst of the scene for Prabuty. 318 versus 62. Snipers for Luvnest. An interesting choice to try and turn the tide against the Americans, though whether or not this will be feasible is another match. We can see that Luvnest definitely switching over to a much more defensive stalling measure. Like, he does have like a victory point lead here, so theoretically if Luvnest tries to play a sole steady game, he was probably hoping to catch Prabuty, getting frustrated, trying to end the game fast and then punishing for it. But the question is Prabuty going to fall for that one? Or for that matter, will Luvnest, or in a sense, will Prabuty do what Luvnest wants him to, make a mistake during that big attack? Because Prabuty just makes a good attack without any major mistakes. I mean, Luvnest is going to be in a lot of trouble anyways. Yeah, he definitely needs more Pioneers. Yes, that's another time. Again, he went for the sniper instead of trying to fix up the Panther fast. He's going to have to be pushed into the fight low health. Shoots, misses the half-track. Another Sherman there for Prabuty, freedom and democracy. North machine pushed back in with the Sherman. Almost got the MB-42 crew again. We got 303 versus 62. Pack crewed here by the Pathfinders. Again, lining the Pathfinders spot for the pack. Again, that's pretty clever too there, obviously. Panther being held down. Effectively a little ersatz Panther to him there from Luvnest. So we got 292 versus 62. Sherman almost around the corner for Prabuty. He still needs more Pioneers. Hold on again on the Panther. Put it on the Sherman there from the Panther. Pioneers pulling up behind the Panther to try and survive some incoming fire. Mentioned on the Panther. More shots at the Panther again. Hold down. It takes, notably less damage. But again, when there's enough sources firing at it, it's not going to matter too much. Which is kind of the situation Luvnest Panther finds itself in. So now we're getting hit down the Pathfinders. Holding down again. Jackson shoots again, main gun out. Need to get the Panther out before it's too late. And there good, it's too late. Panther is kaput. Knocked out. A significant blow here to Luvnest and Deutschland. Apparently managed something killed these two and dropped the bars. Did the Panther crush them? Was the machine gun there? Was it the sniper combined? I do not know. But they died, that's for sure. They died. Sherman 40 for Prabuty. Pioneer's been blasted by the Shermans. And there we go, GG game over, loss here for Luvnest. An intense fight. He was a really great play for Luvnest, but we saw the sorts of issues against the mid to late game transition for him. Again, I think the issue there, and I know I say there's a lot, is him trying to go for the heavy Panther core. I think he just stuck more to the Zapoma core with some more Panther Force. Ostwind, I think, being in a much better position versus Prabuty than if he, go for this. I also think there's the lack of mortars, and also the issue with just replacing infantry, as you lost them. I think were some other issues that sort of weighed down Luvnest. Plus, I feel like he should have been more aggressive at times, like trying to launch some deeper flank attacks against Prabuty. But otherwise, well played there by Prabuty and Luvnest. Hope you enjoyed this match. You'll learn something from it. If you did subscribe, like, share, comment. Of course, consider donating or pledging on Patreon. Links in the description. This is Impelling Cheers. Thank you for watching. I'll be sure to try again for another episode. Bye.